Thank you. It is a great privilege for me to be here. You know, my brother was the first president of this college, and I came here right after I got my librarianship degree, and I was here with my yellow shawl and so on. And coming back here is just like coming back home. Always I have my family, and the only family I had in the United States, they lived in upstate New York. I'm very fortunate to have my niece and two nephews, with one of them is here, Ramin Bahar, and Roxana Bahar. And of course, Jenna, who's really the granddaughter of my brother, but also because I don't have any granddaughter myself, she's also my granddaughter. I'd like to thank, before I start, I would like to thank the President Carl Heinz, Provost John Connors, Vice President Walter Poland, Global Initiative Council, and the executive team, with a special thanks to Melinda Slauson, Paula Moore, and Jenna Lenhart, and to all the students, faculty, and staff who have welcomed me to your campus and community. My story is a very long story, but I emphasize today on women and how I have been able to work around my capability, and what was offering to me sometimes make me think maybe it was somebody else who did all those things, because right now I'm 84 and I'm still working, but I don't know how I did it. But let me tell you a little bit about my family, and then maybe you can understand me better. I was born and raised in a very scholarly family, very intellectual. Our time spent during summer when there was no school on reading. Every book that published, they always send a copy to us. And I can say at the age 12 or 13, we probably all read all the classics. And my father was a great poet, writer, historian, journalist, but more than anything else, he was a great humanist. And because of that, he went many times into the political jail and exile, and we all have to suffer along with him. Hushain, my brother, was the eldest one. He was 6 years older than me, and fortunately, he's no longer alive to see it today. I follow my father not only to jail, to exile, but I was also with him as a teenager in Europe and taking care of him in sanatorium because he had tuberculosis. There was no hope because all those hardships under the Pahlavi regime bestowed upon our family, which we didn't do anything wrong, except we believe in freedom. Therefore, I think my university study started in Switzerland, taking care of this great man. Day in and day out, he probably never thought that he planted so many seeds in my mind, and I didn't know either till they start blooming in the United States. Well, we returned to Iran, and for very, very sad life that he died 2 years after. And I married a very strong and well-connected diplomat. And soon, about when I was 23 and I had a little boy, I married at 21 and I had a little boy of year and a half. He came and he was appointed to be the executive director at the World Bank and International Monetary Fund, and for 1 year as an ambassador to United Nations. So we came to United States. I cannot forget the day. It was November 23, 1953, when the plane goes around New York and landed. I was very excited. This is the United States. I never thought that I ever come to United States. Those days, we were 3 days and night on the road to get here. There was no jet. And you sleep on the plane. And they had 2 levels, one for sleeping and another one for living there, because it took long, long time. So from New York, we came to Washington, and of course, World Bank arranged us. This is better than I thought. You hear me better? Well, okay. I'm glad you found out now, and it's not the end of my speech. I cannot believe that I am in United States then. And we came to Washington, D.C., of course, with my husband, not only presenting Iran, but he was presenting 14 other countries. So he had lots of work to do. And we were in the Hilton those days, was a Statler Hotel. They got a suite for us, and I couldn't speak a word of English, none. I didn't have any friends. I didn't have any family except Hushang, who was in Montana. And not knowing geography, I was so happy I'm coming to United States and see my brother. But my brother, where was he? He was in Montana, and I was in Washington. Therefore, that was probably the hardest years of my life. Completely alone. My husband, who was completely indifferent to my suffering of being alone, he shut the door in the morning, went to office, and came quite late at night. And then he remembered, yes, that he has a wife and a little boy over there. I couldn't go out because it was very difficult. I always lose my son because he was very energetic. Finally, I tried to buy, something that I can put him on and I can take him around. And they gave me the name of the store to go on and buy that. And I got there and I couldn't speak a word of English. Nobody would understand what I want, a stroller. So finally, they called the office. They said, there is a crazy woman here with a little boy, and we have no idea what she's talking about. So they sent somebody with understanding a little bit of French. I spoke French, but not English. Therefore, I bought a stroller, and that was sort of a freedom for me. Now I could put my son on the stroller to go. Then I decided that cannot go on. I have to learn that darn language. So I searched around and found a wonderful teacher from American University who was teaching English to foreign students and also phonetics. That magnificent woman who really took me under her wing, I'm forever indebted to her. She's gone long time ago. But she taught me English 3 times a week. And believe it or not, I had to struggle 12 hours a day between dictionary and textbook. Then, one day after 2 years, she said, you have to go to university. You are too intelligent not to go. And I said, university? I haven't even finished my high school because I married at 16. And I only have a junior high school education. And he said, but then you have to finish your high school first. How? Oh, there are schools for the people who remain behind. So I went to school at night. And my classmates were the truck driver, milkman, you know, those women or men who were not able for their own reason to finish high school. And I finished in high school in 2 years. Now I have to go to university. That was the beginning of discrimination in my life. When I talked to my husband about going to university, I was confronted with absolute amazement that he believed women don't have enough intelligence to go to university. University belonged to men. Although some women went to university, but they were exceptional. And he constantly reminded me to be born from such a family doesn't mean that you have their intellect. So I had no other choice but go to university behind his back. He only paid for an English class. And I tried to economize on money and go to 3 courses. So 4 years I spent it that way. When he was away, which was a lot away, it was okay. I was studying with my children. I had 2 children by then. And when he was in Washington, I had to study from 1 in the morning till 5 in the kitchen and get to bed for 2 hours of sleep, then get up, make the breakfast, take the children to school, and drive to university. And again, many times we just talk about maybe I want to really learn more, and he said, you don't need it. I will take care of you till the last day of your life. And now I see how wrong he was. He died 25 years ago. I could have been on welfare right now if I did not believe in myself. I believed in myself. And because my father believed in me, and many times told me there isn't any difference between a man and a woman, and you can do anything you want in your life. So I finished my BA, and I was very ambitious. I didn't choose any sociology or psychology or something because they don't expect a perfect English. But I got my BA in English literature. How I did it, again, I don't know, but I did it. So 2 weeks before my graduation, I approached him again when I was hiding the commencement of American University behind my back. I pleaded with him again, send me to university. No university, no college. I thought we had talked about that long time ago. Then I took the commencement and I said, you are invited to my graduation. 2 weeks from now, I am graduating from American University in English literature.